Hi there friends, Joshua Killeen here again with Our Tiny Homestead. So today I want to focus on something that has become more and more apparent to me as time has gone by throughout this battle, throughout all the crazy changes that are taking place in our country, in our counties, in our states. And one thing I'm noticing, and one thing I feel like I need to talk about today, is fear and normalcy bias and the evil that is good men, good people, good women not acting, not doing anything when they see truly evil things being done. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you to our subscribers. Thanks for tuning in. As always, thanks for your support. I know it's been a while since we've been on YouTube. Throughout the past couple of months, it's been extremely hectic between business, family, and the obvious, the battle to live on our own property and live free and live the way that we want to live. So live videos on the Arizona Rural Landowners Association group page, that's been how I have been just spreading the word and sharing this message over the last month or two. Live videos are a lot easier. They don't take any post-production, and they get out there quicker. So I want to thank the very good friend and the secretary of Arizona Rural Landowners Association for pushing me to get back on the YouTube channel. On that note, so normalcy bias, things that you don't want to have to deal with, that you don't want to have to do, this is one of the things that I personally don't really want to have to be doing. I do enjoy media art, I enjoy making videos, but I work with weddings and fine art stuff, and constantly thinking about the negativity and the horrible truths that are coming to light. It's not really what I want to be doing, and I could easily say, you know, I'm gonna act like this isn't happening. I'm gonna act like none of this is real, but that would be the wrong thing to do. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support. We have an actual dedicated YouTube channel for Arizona Rural Landowners Association. I'm going to be including links to that in the description below. Please subscribe to both Our Tiny Homestead and the Arizona Rural Landowners Association or Arizona Landowners Association YouTube channel. The information that we're sharing is relevant, it is very important, and it is very disturbing, and it's not things that, you know, everybody wants to hear or focus on the daily, but these are things that need to be focused on. This is information that needs to be shared. So thank you guys for helping make that happen. We have made so much progress. I mean, it's amazing. It's huge what has happened just over the last 6 months, how quickly our organization has grown, how many people have come out of the woodwork to share their stories and to help support the fight for, you know, being able to live free and live the way that you see fit. As a law-abiding citizen, you know, we aren't doing anything wrong. We are just people that want to live peacefully in a way that we see fit. And this right is being taken away from us. So these videos and all of your support, it's just huge what's happened. I don't even have words for it. Again, there's some very big news that we're just waiting on a few final touches to release and go public. So there's some really exciting things coming here soon. And with that, let's get into the meat of our video. I want to start by reading something that I shared and I wrote. This isn't a quote from anybody else. This is something that this is a thought, this is a feeling that I wanted to share, and it was a reminder that came up from a year ago today, and I'd like to start by reading it to you. Thanks for listening. If you are employed by a government institution, and you know in your heart that they are doing something unconstitutional or wrong, there are three choices that you have to make. One, leave the institution and fight it from the outside. Two, change it from the inside and risk persecution. Or three, do nothing. Let the tyranny continue and pray for our younger generation. What will you do? Well, I can tell you that if you choose to do nothing, the only option that's really left to you, I want to kind of edit that, the only option that is left to you is to pray for our younger generation. And that's kind of where we're at now. That's where we're at today. So a few things have taken place recently that really that we need to talk about. We need to start talking about, and we need to start sharing, because the normalcy bias. Sorry, I'm looking up what happened here on my phone today. So this is the normalcy bias has spread like a virus. It's spread throughout our culture, throughout our younger generations, and throughout our world like a plague. This normalcy bias and fear to do anything outside of the box, to do anything that others might think is odd or off or wrong or outside of the mold. The fear of breaking the mold and actually standing up for what you deep down inside truly know is right and what you believe. This fear and this normalcy bias has just ran rampant. And it's not just, and again, this isn't a partisan group, this isn't a political group, this is a common sense group. And what I'm beginning to notice as we share this information is we are getting a lot of positive feedback, and we are gaining a lot of supporters, but at the same time, the number of individuals, the number of people who are almost violently opposing the truth and blatant facts, common sense, things that are very clear and easy to see, is blowing my mind. And again, it's not just in, left-wing groups, right-wing groups. It's not just in POAs, HOA groups. It's not just in rural areas. It's not just in the city. This is everywhere from what I'm seeing. So off-grid living for beginners. You would think that most members of a group titled Off-Grid Living for Beginners would be supportive of living off the grid and not being held to city-like codes and ordinances on your 20 and 40 acre ranch, because that doesn't make sense, right? So I was kind of attacked by sharing some of the information just recently in this group. And I wanted to share some of the things that this person had said. And it's very, very disturbing. So this person, who is a member of the Off-Grid Living for Beginners group, straight up told me that we need to abide by codes and ordinances, and they make sense, and that they're there for our safety. What I want to read what she wrote. I wrote her a message explaining that county codes are completely separate from state level EDQ and fire codes. So that would be wastewater disposal, having to have smoke alarms in your home, how safe your fireplace is, what kind of heating you have in your home, things like that. We all have to meet these for safety. These are state level. This is not county level codes. This is at the state level. And that's understandable. When the county is forcing city-like codes on rural areas, which is exactly what they're doing across the nation, this is what we're fighting against. This isn't about public safety. This is about a revenue generator that tramples our constitutionally protected rights to live the way that we see fit. And her response was, what does your agenda have to do with the people in this article? We were talking about a couple in the article who built a tiny home, wanted to, they bought their property, and they found out that how harsh the town was against off-grid tiny home living, so they moved to another town, and they're just having a really hard time, so they reached out to try to gain support. And she is saying that they are idiots. There's nothing that correlates between what you're talking about and this couple. This is city code. The couple moved into this town ignoring the code after being forced from the previous town because their tiny home was against code. Blooming idiots. Sorry, it's obvious that I've actually read the article. Go back to your happy hippie flute playing. So I guess she's judging me based on my profile picture where I play the Navajo wood flute, and I like sound healing and things like that. And so she's looking at my profile picture, calling me a flute playing hippie, and this is a person that is a member of the Offgrid Living for Beginners group. This is just one example. It's not the focus of this video, but I wanted to portray that it's even people in our rural areas across the nation, and especially in this area as well, people are just fighting so hard to keep the delusion that everything is going to be okay, that everything is normal, that we can trust our government and our elected officials to take care of us, and to do right by us, and that we should abide by all the new codes and ordinances just because they're there. I don't really know how to put this, but if you feel that way, you are lost. You are truly lost. You've lost the ability to do your own critical thinking. You have lost the ability to think for yourself, and you have lost what created this country, what created this cushy, comfortable life that you are living, which is free will, the ability to think critically, to think outside of the box, and to do things differently. This whole country was built on people who wanted to do things differently and wanted to live free. Another thing that's sad, if you ask the younger generation about, who was our first president, or who is one person that helped write, the Bill of Rights, any constitutional questions, any historical references, you can walk down the street now, and people my age, I'm not just talking about, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, I'm talking about between the ages of 30 and 35, and these people have no idea how we got to where we are today, how we gained these freedoms, and they don't care how we're losing them. They just want to coast by, go out to their fancy dinners, buy the newest phone, and go to work every day and be told what to do, and then get off and drink themselves silly and wake up the next morning and do it all over again, which is fine. But these same people are attacking those that are trying to retain the freedoms that they so graciously enjoy. So that being said, I want to talk a little bit about fear. We have so many people that are afraid to stand up to the institution, to stand up to local government, to stand up for what is right. And I'm here to tell you now that unless more people start to stand up for what is right, for common freaking sense, man, we aren't going to have anything good anymore. We're not. And historical evidence shows this, has proven this. History repeats itself. Every great culture throughout history, from the beginning of man, from the first cave-dwelling folks that, decided, hey, let's carve this rock to make it round and roll it down this hill, and oh, no, we just killed a mammoth. Oops. Seriously though, from the very first historical references to today, history repeats itself. The greatest nations have all collapsed because of their hubris, and because of their normalcy bias, and because of good people's fear of standing up. People, even if they are good people, smart people, will violently oppose that truth. There was another quote and I don't want to butcher it, but it's along the lines of when a truth is brought to light, first people will violently oppose it, then they will ridicule it, and then finally, when the vast majority of people start to recognize the truth, they will accept it as a possibility. So the same thing is happening on a long game scale with property owner rights, landowner rights, and Agenda 21, and people thinking Agenda 21 is a conspiracy theory. No, it's a conspiracy, but it's not a theory. It's happening right now. It's happening about that. It's happening. So when I first posted, almost 2 years ago, about what we were finding out within Yavapai County, within our county, when I first posted what was going on there, and I started sharing the things that were just blowing my freaking mind, man. I just couldn't believe, as somebody that pays my bills, that worked hard my whole life, that served in the military, that had a perfectly clean record, that didn't have any debt at the time, and had a driver's license. My car was registered. I was following all the freaking rules that they put into place. And I could not believe that they would make it so unattainable for an average income household to purchase their own property and live on their own land in a way that they see fit. I could not believe that this was the case, especially in Arizona. So when I first started sharing this information, I was attacked. I was ridiculed. I was called a troublemaker. I was called a complainer. We all have to pay these permitting fees, and why should you be any different? Well, you're right. I'm not any different. You shouldn't have to pay the fucking fees either. You shouldn't have to pay a fucking $3,400 impact fee to even break ground for permission to build something on your own property. How in any world does that make sense? How? Change my mind. Convince me how that makes sense. It doesn't. It's theft. It is theft. So I was attacked, and then eventually more and more people started saying, oh, wow, well, I'm trying to do this, and this really sucks, and now I'm angry about it, so I'm going to join your cause. It sucks unless it doesn't, and it's fine until it starts to suck. It's just how it goes, and people don't want to do anything about it until it's affecting them directly, which is understandable. It's human nature, But sadly, things are changing so rapidly right now on multiple fronts. In our world, in our nation, in our state, in our county, in our community. Things are changing so quickly that this moment is going to come before you even realize it, and when it's too late for you to do anything about it. So, the coronavirus, very similar situation. I started sharing this information, and yes, it doesn't have anything to do with off-grid tiny home living, or does it? We choose to live in a less on-demand way. We have food stores, we have water stores, we collect our own energy. We aren't dependent on a power grid that could fail at any moment because we chose to live in a rural, off-grid, homesteading lifestyle. When I first started realizing, I have a few friends that are still in the military and have changed jobs from what they were when I was in the military with them, and they travel the world. Some of them are stationed in South Korea, some of them are stationed in other places abroad. And even before the first, YouTube craze about the coronavirus was hitting, people were saying, hey, this is serious. This is not something that we've seen before. There's these signs that just don't make any sense. And, they're just saying, just in passing, just talking about it, not saying, oh, the end of the world is coming. No, just that a change is coming. And when things started getting really bad, and I started noticing the numbers and how the numbers didn't add up, I started sharing about the coronavirus. And not only was I, a tinfoil hat was placed on my head for me. It wasn't just people that I didn't know. It was friends. It was family saying I'm paranoid, and that this isn't a big deal. And 3-4 weeks later, we now have millions quarantined, 23 other countries, over 2,000 deaths now, and these are the numbers reported from the People's Republic, the Communist Party in China, and Iran. These numbers just don't make sense. They're not giving us the accurate numbers. But even with the numbers they're giving us, this is serious. This is nothing that we've ever seen before, and people are dying. This is what people are just not understanding. They're like, oh, thousands of people die from the flu every year, but yet we take a flu vaccine still, and a lot of people that die are people that took that flu vaccine. The point I'm trying to make is think for yourselves, people. Now people are starting to say, oh, I need to go buy a mask, and oh, there's no masks for sale anywhere. Can't buy them because it's too freaking late. Food shortages are already starting, and we're not just talking about third world countries, guys. We're talking about developed, sophisticated nations who are now in the hot seat. And we think this can't happen to us because of this fucking normalcy bias. Normalcy bias will kill you. This comfort that you want to keep, that you want to protect. It's understandable that you want to protect it, and you can protect it, but that doesn't mean being ignorant to everything else and to the truth that's right in front of your eyes. So I'd like to end this video today with a call to anyone who currently or previously has worked with Yavapai County, either as an employee of Yavapai County, an elected official in Yavapai County, or somebody that's just dealt with Yavapai County and really knows of more of the illegal, unconstitutional crap that they're trying to pull. Because we already have so much evidence, we already have so many people that have come forward, but in today's culture, today, you need overwhelming, like a landslide of facts to dump on their frickin' laps. That's the only way these bureaucrats and these politicians, judges, attorneys, anybody will believe you or say, okay, we'll finally do something about this, unless they just can't avoid it. So that's what we're doing. We already have enough proof that what they're doing is wrong, unconstitutional, just so shady and wrong, but we want more. We want more. We want everybody to stand up and do the right thing. We want you to stand up and do the right thing. If you know of something evil being done, you are complicit in that evil by sitting down and not doing anything. So my plea to you, my question to you is, what will you do? Thanks for everyone for watching. Please hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, and please subscribe to the Arla channel as well. This is not a monetized channel. This is not something that we're doing to try to make you watch advertisements on our YouTube videos and so we can get money for it. No, we have one goal, and that is to protect our rights and what we have earned as law-abiding citizens in this country, and people who have served this country, and people who have put their blood, sweat, and tears into building a home that is now being threatened because of bureaucracy and revenue. So I'm asking you to do the right thing, and again, thank you for your support. Keep the spirit.